What is up YouTube? It's time for another tier list. This time it will be again a PvE type of content. Basically Fiestas, which is a boss battle which you have 10 turns to complete. Usually there's easy, normal, hard, hell. So these are the units that I feel are best for completing hell. Or basically that's what the tier list is about. In C tier, it's units that you should definitely not use. For example, healers, tanks. They don't bring anything else to the table. So basically, no damage. You only have 4 slots in your team, so you want to have someone who can either deal damage or someone only one unit which can stop the enemy DPS while the others deal DPS. But even if you want that one unit, you don't want it to be from here for sure. In B tier, it's units which are good in certain situations, like depending on the Fiesta boss skills, but overall you're not going to really see them that often. For example, passive lock could be good, but also most of the time you won't really need it, etc. In A tier, it's units that can do a bit of something, but not really. For example, Taijin, he can do a decent amount of DPS, but if he's your main DPS, you're definitely not gonna kill Hell Mode in 10 turns. Sujinrak does a decent chunk of damage. Her taunt and heal unavailable can help based on who your enemy is. Yama as well. This is the tank that you want to bring if you have to bring a tank, basically. Because they can not only tank it, but also deal a decent chunk of damage. As well as passives, which buff you. Someone who is a nuke, but sadly there's not any good poison teams. And yeah, that's basically this tier. In S tier, it's a bit better. These guys who nuke, but you also have someone who can make them work. Although again, you don't really want them that much in your Fiesta team, as it's just 10 turns. So I believe that you can do more damage with the ones that are above, which we're going to go now. In double S tier is units which can deal a great amount of chunk. If you have them at the perfect setup, you should be able to kill hell with just them. This guy is here because he can also stun on top of that, which can be helpful on some Fiestas. Mashlime, she does a decent chunk of damage, and basically for 3 turns all of your DPS cannot be touched. So even if you have weak HP units, or the boss is really strong and can one-shot your guys, Mashlime gives you 3 turns in which you can do whatever you want. Q, decent damage, buffs, as well as the reflect can help. Ehua, if you have her EE, it basically gives you absolute damage if you have a burner, which is, in Fiesta it's not really that important, which is why Mameshiba and such units are in lower tiers. And triple S are units that can be used in any Fiesta. Godkiller 0 must bring, deals a huge amount of damage, makes a lot of teams viable. Heavenly Warlord, defense break, piercing, his E, pretty much insane. Satan, basically designed to fight a boss. Heavenly Warlord Dark, for 3 turns he's insane. Miryung, she can basically do a nuke, but she doesn't have to rely on your team. You don't have to bring burns, poison and such, so she's a must use. Vyo, basically, he isn't really that insane of a damage dealer, but his damage is really good, as well as that he can be really helpful versus bosses who have damage immunity or other such buffs, because he cleanses them. For example, if the Fiesta boss is Mujin, you can instantly turn 1, start dealing damage. And you have Mujin, who can, with his C1, do the same, remove the enemy buff. And his C2 is insane for single target boss fights, and that's basically it. Well, hope it helped, and see you on the next tier list. Or video. Or whatever.